This year I discovered I do have anxiety, or at least it's been amplified. Maybe I've always had it and didn't realize what it was, and it's definitely been amplified because of this year.
Yeah.
You know, trying to rediscover myself and recreate myself, because now a lot has just changed.
When did you start to identify that what you were feeling or what you were experiencing was anxiety? Can you recall to like one of the first occasions or one of the first moments?
I don't know the first moment, to be honest. I just know exactly what it feels like. Like, I'll wake up sometimes, and right before I go to sleep, I'll just have, like, my heart is racing. My hands are kind of shaking a little bit, and I don't want to get out of bed. Like, I'm letting the rush play out for a bit, because it's kind of like a rush. Like
At night when you're going to sleep, or when you're about to get up in the morning?
Usually when I wake up
in the morning.
More of the rush.
Oh,
but
okay.
sometimes at night, like, you know, you're tossing and you're turning, and you're just, like, overthinking. And I'm already an overthinker, period. So my mind is literally always on, like, a marathon. That's it. I'm not even trying to exaggerate, because I'm either thinking of new ideas, or I'm thinking of, you know, how to improve myself. I'm overthinking if I spoke out of line to certain people, or if, you know, because I'm also a people pleaser. Like, there's so many different little things within my head. Then I feel like that is what, like, anxiety is also. Like, it's just, I'm thinking about this right now, and then I think about this, and then I'm overthinking about this. This gets amplified of this situation. This thing that happened 6 months ago, now it's back, and something triggered it to bring it back, and now I'm thinking about that again, and it's like, Elijah, shut the hell up. Like, stop.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you just can't stop. Like, I think that's why some people smoke, because it really calms them down. I think I asked somebody, like, what calms you down when you have those kinds of anxiety attacks, and some people, like, say nicotine. Someone says, like, literally, like, sometimes you just gotta create and just, like, focus on the craft. And I mean, that's what I find myself doing. Like, I have to go run, and then even if I go run, I'm just crying, like, on the run. Like, I literally am just, like, running and putting all my energy into that jog or that sprint, and then I just want to, like, yell because I'm so angry that I'm experiencing this. Like, I don't want to feel like this. You know?
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks so much, because it's like...
Does that happen every day?
Not every day. Yesterday was a really great day, I think. Yesterday as in Friday. Today is Saturday.
Do you feel like it happens often, as far as, like, weekly?
Yeah, it happens weekly. Like, for the last few weeks, it's happened, like, every Monday. Like, I'll get home from work, something happens, and I think about something, and I think of a situation that I should not be upset about, but I get upset about it. And then I think what I become truly upset about is the fact that I am dwelling on it for a little bit. Like, I'm more mad at myself for thinking about it and for finding myself back in this little place than I am about the situation that happened, if that makes sense. And so then it's, like, directed towards me, and so then I get upset with myself, and I'm like, Elijah, like, why are you this? Why are you that? And then insecurity issues start to, like, come through. And
when that feeling sets in, what is your first instinct to do what? Or
my first thought is, like, damn. I find a way to go for a run. Like, I remember
you go for a run, But when you run,
Try to get your mind off.
Does it ease those feelings?
Not really, to be honest. A little bit. I'm doing a task, so I have to focus on the task. Because
So
like
it's
you can run subconsciously, right? But like you still have to know like where you're going, what like pace yourself. You have to breathe, you know.
So is the running more a distraction?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
To distract your mind.
It absolutely is. I was exercising at home one day, I remember, and I was working like on my shoulders and arms. I like made it through 2 like exercises or whatever, and then I was like, nah, I have to go run right now, because I was overthinking a situation, and then I decided to go for a run. Like I stopped what I was doing and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run instead. And then I ran, and then I had called some friends to come over and have tea, and I was like, I need some company right now.
So were you doing it to clear your mind? To try to clear your mind?
To try to clear my mind, but in reality, it's like you said, it really is just a distraction, something to prolong, or like to put off is a better phrase, to put off what is occurring right now.
Like what's going in your mind. So your mind is on overdrive or overload, right? And
Yeah.
your thoughts are racing, your heart is racing, right? Have you ever thought about just casting your thought, grabbing hold of those thoughts and binding them, casting them out? Have you ever thought of that?
No, I mean, sometimes I will
Has that ever occurred to you?
No.
Did you ever hear of that before? Like in the Bible, it says that whenever the enemy tries to attack us, we need to bind him up. So like when you bind something, you're stopping it from I guess acting, I don't know, but binding it up and then casting it out, like just casting it to the farthest. And so the Lord says in the Bible, cast those thoughts, set them, like cast those thoughts out.
I get what you're kind of saying, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like
I wonder if that would.
I just feel like it depends.
It's not just a thought. It's more. There's more than just what's going on in your mind.
Yeah, because it affects you physically as well. So like now, like your body's kind of shaking. It's kind of going into like this. It's just panicking. Like kind of like that's what I'm doing. I'm panicking.
Yeah.
And so I get very impulsive, which is why like I stopped what I was doing to go run.
Okay.
I've made some impulsive phone calls. I've had to call friends. Sometimes it could be so intense that even the distraction that normally works, like running, like calling somebody or talking it out, or going for a walk, or listening to music, or working on a project to create, none of that makes a difference. You'll find yourself going back to, or gravitating back to like that center point of, this is what's bothering me, or this is what I'm overthinking about, or this is making me kind of nervous and shaking. And when it impacts your entire body, like physically too, like that's when it's hard, because it's not just like a mental thing. Like, and I mean, to be fair, I'm not an expert, but it could be that what's going on mentally is then,
impacting everything else.
It could be exactly that. Like, I'm sure that's what it is. So trying to get your head to calm down a little bit, and then your body. So
talking it out doesn't help?
Sometimes it does, but not always. Sometimes it's kind of like it doesn't matter, or sometimes you have to talk about it for a while, as you know, to get back to reality. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because think of all the time that I'm such a time person. Like I told you earlier, like you don't have time to be feeling this, and this. Of course I do. But like, I want to be working. I want to be productive. I want to be doing the things that I said that I was going to do. And so if I lose an hour or more, because I think the last time that we talked was probably the past Monday. We were in your room for a while because I was just sitting and I was just like, why am I here again? You know?
Yeah.
And
But why don't you give yourself a little grace?
I try to an extent. Like, I'm understanding now that, like, I know this is gonna happen and I know it's okay for it to happen. I think sometimes it just gets so old. Like, why is this still happening? Or when will it, like, stop? Because also what I don't like is going to the same people over and over again about the same circumstances with the same outcomes and repercussions. Me feeling anxious, hurt, upset, frustrated, which are emotions we're always going to experience.
Yeah.
But I feel like it becomes a little bit more frequent, and that's what's upsetting to me. And something that is so funny that Clarissa, it's not funny, but something that's ironic that Clarissa told me once was when I told her I was going to therapy, she was like, what? I'm like, you? Like, you're the one that has it together out of our circle of friends. Like, not even that you have it together, but you are definitely in tune with your emotions. Like, you are one of the most self-aware people, like, people that I know. And you're not afraid to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Like, you understand the emotions that you feel and you process them, you know, rationally. So, like, why you know? And I was like, dude, like, I be tripping sometimes. Like, I'm you know, I don't have it together. But I feel like I have that front to people. So, like, needing and wanting to have it together so that I can be that space and person for people when they are experiencing those things.
So do you think that maybe that part of that pressure is what maybe...
I think the pressure frustrates me. It doesn't give me anxiety.
Okay.
I think it frustrates me when I'm experiencing that because I want to be very, like, in a clear headspace to be the friend that I can be, the brother that I can be, like, you know, just to show up for people. Like, that's my intention, is to continue to show up for people. And so when I can't, because I'm not even showing up for myself, I just kind of feel a bit more destroyed and broken. Like, I just feel useless because I'm, like, continually, like, I'm still going to the same people with the same problems, not like on a monthly basis, but like sometimes on a weekly basis. And I'm like, I can't. A fear of mine is thinking that I'm gonna run out of people to talk to. I have to talk to Galvin like twice a month. I'll talk to Marilyn twice a month. I'll talk to Clarissa twice a month. You know, like, so that way, like, I'm not always going to Galvin. I'm not always going to you.
You can always come to me.
I know that, but, you know, it's just, I get afraid that, like, dude, this is like the 7th time that I call Marilyn because I'm going through something. Not even like, hey, how are you, Marilyn? Like, what's going on with you? Tell me about your accomplishments this week. Which, like, I do care about, but because I'm so engulfed with, like, my own shit, like, I'm always needing some kind of affirmation from people. Which is something I don't understand about myself yet. Wanting that validation.